வணக்கம் நேயர்களே, welcome back to another episode on Vadapoche Tamil Podcast. We are now available on most streaming platforms, which is Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or எந்த பாட்காஸ்ட் பிளாட்ஃபார்மில் நீங்கள் கேட்குறதா இருந்தாலும் நீங்கள் அதை கேட்டுக்கலாம்.
நம்மள சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் நீங்கள் ஃபைண்ட் பண்ணலாம் at Vadapoche Tamil Podcast, Instagram and TikTok. Leave us a comment, message அனுப்புங்க, ஏதாவது ஃபீட்பேக் இருந்தாலும் சொல்லுங்கள். We'll definitely reply to you guys. So please reach out to us and let's have a conversation going. Enjoy the show.
Let's do this. Any good stories, like this is like the good case study or a good scenario, then the funny ones, and then the horror stories.
I think let's start with the horror stories.
Yeah.
This one I think in my 5th year in the industry, of my first 5 years, because I remember that's when I bought my first home. And then I had to sell a house for a couple who was going through a divorce.
Right.
The husband contacted me. The wife was obviously not friendly to me because she felt that I was hiding the husband. But honestly, I didn't know husband personally as well. Just out of word of mouth, he contacted me, right? So, okay, Mr. So-and-so, we met. Then he said, you have to get through to my wife. I said, not a problem. Let's meet and talk. So I requested for a meetup for both husband and wife to sit down and talk, but obviously very awkward. So I made it very clear to both of them that I'm not taking sides. So she kind of noticed that. And for some reason, vibes, right? The meeting ended up in such a way that the wife got more comfortable with me and the husband got less comfortable with me.
Right. Okay.
And the whole transaction ended in a way that the wife honestly got closer to me. The husband drifted from me.
Husband நினைச்சிருப்பாரு maybe.
But eventually the house needs to be sold.
Yeah.
So husband and wife were both staying at extreme corners of the house.
Right.
On the last day of the completion, the husband was so challenging. He even removed the plugs in the house, the doorknobs in the house, and all that. And we would have never expected that because the house needs to be sold. And no one would ever think that people would go to that extent of removing sockets and doorknobs. And so he was at the point where whatever I've paid in this house, I want to take it back.
Right.
So then, of course, the buyers are very upset because they walked in and they realized hanging wires off the wall and then doorknobs, doors with no doorknobs.
Oh my God.
But eventually, we had to explain that, just be thankful that you got the house with no major damages.
Yeah.
So that was one of the horror. I
Because
would
it could
say.
have gone down to something actually worse.
இல்ல
No, it of course led to a point where we had to get the police in to get the husband to leave because he just didn't.
Right.
We were still in the house physically even after the official completion took place.
Oh my God. Okay.
இல்ல எனக்கு என்ன தோணுச்சுன்னா டைல் நான் வாங்கினேன் அதுவும்
Yeah.
திராசோ டைல்
So நம்ம ஐடியாஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுக்க வேண்டாம்ப்பா. But so that was one of the horror because it was a first case scenario for me that in the extent கூட ஆளுங்க போகிறதுக்கு தயாரா இருக்காங்க.
Extremely petty, huh?
Yeah, it's just shocking.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Then you're dealing with mental conditions already because that's when you know how upset he is in wanting to move. But the irony is அவர் தான் என்னை கூப்பிட்டுட்டு வீடை விற்கணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்புறம் இந்த மாதிரி நடந்திருக்கு. So that was a quite a difficult one to deal. Horrorனு சொல்ல முடியாது, a difficult one. Good ones maybe would be mothers have to. So I met a widow. And she obviously was in a executive apartment and பிள்ளைங்கெல்லாம் வந்துட்டாங்க. So she only had 2 children. Son was getting married. She had to finance the daughter's education. So she needed to sell the house to cash out and then she needed to downgrade. So to know that that's the whole importance of wanting to sell, downgrade to cash out for finance the daughter's education. And the stressful part was the payment had to be made in X month.
Right.
So to ensure that the transaction took place in time because she had to move into the next house and to have it ready in time for her. If not, she had no other house to stay.
Right.
So to get all this timed and eventually when it happens, right, it's like, it with it happens.
Satisfaction.
Big sigh
Yeah.
of relief.
So it's these moments when I realized that yes, I would want to continue doing such transactions in that sense, because it's a purpose, and it only makes you understand the reason why you need to continue doing it. Right? You learn a lot.
What about funny? Do you have any funny one?
Okay. This was, I don't want to classify it funny, but it was interesting. So my friend's mother, she needed me to rent out her private property, which is a condo, right? Because avanga vande, she's like 90 years old and she's still having this condo for the rental to be her passive income. So I've been serving her for X number of years, and the unit had to be turned around. So unit was basic. Somehow this tenant came, and it was actually an agent. So the agent was telling me that, Natalie, you don't have to worry. After all, we're from the same company. I will take this house as a tenant because I'm waiting for my house to be built in X number of years. So I said, okay, yes, I understand. Don't worry, Natalie. I will pay the rent on time and I'm going to do repair works. So I said, okay, all right, but whatever you do let me know, because I need to let my owner consent, right? But before I knew it, the whole house was renovated.
Yeah?
So he actually, believe it or not, he actually spent, unbelievable, but he spent $30,000
Oh my goodness.
to renovate the condo that he wanted to rent. And of course, when I tell this to my owner, she's like, what is he doing to my house? Why? I said, Auntie, why don't you actually come down in person to meet this tenant? Because he was giving me a long list of what he was going to turn around. And நான் அந்த லிஸ்ட்டை படிச்சுக்கிட்டே நான் பயந்துட்டேன். Because I was worried as a landlord's agent, is my owner going to incur all this cost, right? Then he's like, no, sister, don't worry. I'll get the contractor. I'll do everything. I said, Nada, this is too good to be true. So I said, okay, Auntie, why don't you just come down and we can meet him, and then you can see, and then you can understand. So, okay, we all turn up. வீடு பார்த்துக்கிட்டு, she's like, Natalie, this is not my home, you know. So I said, Auntie, isn't it wonderful? You have got new lights, new fans, new cupboards, new flooring, beautifully polished, newly painted grills. And she's like, whatever it is, just ask him to pay his rent on time.
So she kind of likes the
And the best part is, the agent was like, see, I told you, Nat, after this you can rent this house for a higher price. And I'm like, where did this come from, right? So it's just bizarre. But as long as the job gets done, everyone's happy and can sleep peacefully, I'm all right.
நீங்க வந்து did you manage to ask him what was his real objective in doing so?
So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
He was telling me, he said, sister, for me, it's not about renting the house. It's about making the house like my home, because my children also be staying in it. My wife also staying in it. So I must create that atmosphere. So ஒன்னும் ரெண்டல் ஓடிக்கிட்டே இருக்கு. அது அடுத்த வருஷம் முடியும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So பாப்போம்.
எத்தனை வருஷமா அங்க இருக்காரு?
I think he signed on a 3-year contract.
Wow. Okay.
So it's
in a way it
just one
starts
of
to
that bizarre case. I don't know whether classify as funny, but it can be.
I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions.
I got a lot of questions. Like 30,000 to renovate
renovate a house that you're renting.
For 3 years, that's like 10,000 a
Yes.
year.
Yeah.
But for him is, I want to go to a home which I'm feeling good.
He wants to make it a home.
So that's when I realized it will take an agent only to have this kind of a mentality, because it's like, it's not about the money. It's about making my family happy.
இல்ல சில பேர் வந்து
Right.
they see home ownership as a liability, and then they start to consider something as rental as to they find it more profitable in that sense. Maybe that applies to him.
For him, I
yeah.
think it was just knowing that the children are given the best, they got the best lighting. It was amazing. The daughter was sitting for PSLE that year. When the dining room, just அந்த டாட்டர் அங்கே படிக்கிறதுக்கே தனியாக ஒரு லைட்டு அங்கே போட்டு, அந்த லைட்டை வந்து டேபிளில் நல்லா ஒரு ஆங்கிளில் வந்து லேண்ட் பண்ணி, see the light I've installed bright, no sister, for my daughter to study. நீ ஏதாச்சும் பண்ணுப்பா, வீடு நல்லா இருந்தா ஓகே.
இல்லை, that's dedication. எனக்கு நானா இருந்தானா அந்த லேம்ப் வச்சு படிக்கிறேன், இல்லை இந்த கேண்டல் வச்சு படிச்சுக்கிறேன்.
ரோட்ல போய் படி.
So bizarre, funny if you think about it. Yeah, it's just amazing.
So Singapore like there's many communities involved in like buying and selling house. When it comes to the Indian community, right, நம்மளுக்கே like unique issues and challenges you will face kandipa. So have you identified what kind of challenges do the Indian community face, and what are your like advice or like stories that you are willing to share?
What kind of challenges our Indian
Community
community
face, yeah.
or
Or Indian community face, or any issues that they face uniquely for the Indian community.
Okay. Challenges, honestly, very subjective. But நான் என்ன observe பண்ணியிருக்கேன்னா, which எனக்கே கொஞ்சம் ஃபன்னியாக இருக்கும் பார்க்குறதுக்கு. There's this ethnic integration policy which we all know. So not all houses can be sold to all races. We're talking about HDB houses here.
Correct.
அந்த வீடு அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் ஒரு வீடு like say Bukit Merahல வச்சுருக்கீங்க, because that's usually one of the locations with the largest ethnic quota. And it just very hard to change. So ஒரு இந்தியன் ஓனர் அந்த வீடை ஒரு Chinese sellerக்கு Chinese buyerக்கு விற்க முடியாது, which means the buyers are only Malays, Indians or others, which means Eurasians or mixed race. So you can even bring a Chinese, but the Chinese possibly married to another race which is not in the Chinese quota. ஆனா இவங்க இந்தியன் ஏஜென்ட் என்கேஜ் பண்ணாங்க, அவங்க சைனீஸ் ஏஜென்ட் என்கேஜ் பண்ணுவாங்க. சைனீஸ் ஏஜென்ட்க்கு எவ்வளோ அந்த பூல் ஆஃப் பயர்ஸ் இருக்கும், which is non-Chinese.
Not much, is it? Yeah.
Which obviously that Chinese agent will face the challenge because his pool of buyers are mainly majority race. He would not have access to the minority race so much. So they don't have this thought. They think that, oh, X, if I cannot sell to the majority race, doesn't matter. They don't think that that agent must have that network of buyers which is meant to buy that house. So enna பண்ணுவாங்க, they'll try that agent and then they realize he doesn't have that network. Then after like 6 months down the road, after being all jaded and frustrated, then I'll get the call. Natalie, my house has not been sold for X number of months. And I'm like, okay, the house actually looks very nice. Say, so why, Mrs. Seller? Oh, X and X agent was marketing. So I just asked, okay, so who is it? Just out of curiosity, not to judge the agent. Chinese agent. So I said, why would you engage a Chinese agent for a house which a majority race cannot buy? We don't know. So these are things that sometimes our community needs to keep in mind, that the agent you engage needs to have the network of buyers that's required to make your house move. It's not about, I don't want Indian agent because I don't trust Indian agents. So that's the stigma which I realize our community really needs to move forward with. Houses do move regardless of the race of the agent.
Correct.
And with a professional, I'm highlighting the word professional and experienced and reliable agent is what makes your house move. It's not whether they are Chinese, Malay or Indian. And if you engage that agent with the right match, you'll realize that agent is able to understand your culture, your interests, protect your interests, and is able to also understand your needs on a higher level. Whereas if you engage an agent of a majority race just thinking that X and X will not judge me, X and X will be able to keep my interests, will not be able to reveal my secrets, then you realize that he's only going to be treating your house as another number to his list for the week or the month. He's not going to be prioritizing your house. So that's what I feel our community needs to keep in mind constantly.
Wow, that is deep advice.
It's practical actually.
Practical advice.
Which only the young ones know lah.
So are you saying the old ones, they are in another mindset totally?
They are still in the old school mentality.
Okay.
ஏன்னா இந்த ஏஜென்ட் என்னோட நெய்பரோட வீடை விற்றான், ஸோ இவனும் என்னோட வீடு வைப்பான்னு அந்த ஐடியாவில் அந்த ஏஜென்ட் என்கேஜ் பண்ணுறாங்க. பட் whether that agent can gum with you and whether that agent is able to understand your interests. That's why always whenever I meet them, I will ask them, நீங்க agent engage பண்றீங்க.
ஆமா.
Do you also understand that the agent is also wanting to qualify you?
Yeah. Correct.
'Cause it goes
You may want to think that I'm at your mercy, but I'm not at your mercy. It's whether I actually want to even help you. And already they have that thing that, oh, you're getting 2%. That's a lot of money. That's like 20,000, you'll be getting. I mean, assuming if the house is sold like maybe for 800 or 900,000, right? It's 20% just like that you're getting. And I'll remind them it's not just like that, Mr. Seller. From the time you meet me in January, I have to market your unit. So I'm taking photographs, I'm advertising your unit. All this is my own investment, right? Until the buyer comes in, I'm driving to your house up and down, regardless of which part of Singapore it is. I am answering the calls and qualifying the buyers to arrange the viewings. I'm physically turning up and I'm already pre-negotiating. And when the negotiation happens, I'm ensuring that that buyer is able to meet your timeline and able to also understand your terms and conditions. And then I'm able to get the right pricing, get the paperwork done, and then do the submission for you. And you're at the back end thinking that I'm getting the 20K just like that. So by the time I get the 20K, 6 மாசம் ஓடிடும்.
yeah.
Then they'll be like, that's a lot of money. 20K divide by 6, and if you divide it by the effort, honestly, it isn't. Not to forget, a good agent also helps you to stage your house. So even when sometimes na padam edukkum podhu, I'll make their bed sheets. I will sweep their living room just to make it look nice. I will arrange. So
Presentable.
for me, all these things are important because your house is is me. I'm representing your house.
Correct, yes.
I want to be associated with the house that is going to be sold really quickly. And the impression your house gives is also what the other agent with the other buyer is going to be having in mind when they click on that link to view your house, which is formed in the first 3 seconds. So then they will say, ஏன் பெயிண்ட் அடிக்கணும், அதான் விற்க போகிறோம்ல, அப்புறம் ஏன் காசெல்லாம் நம்ம ஸ்பெண்ட்
இது
பண்ணணும்,
காமனான கேள்வி.
ஏன் இதெல்லாம் நம்ம வீசிடணும், அதான் இதெல்லாம் டவுன் கவுன்சில் எல்லாம் எடுத்துடுவாங்களே ஒன்ஸ் வீடு வித்துட்டோன்னு. அது சரி, ஆமாம்மா, ஆனால் நீங்கள் வந்து இப்போ ஒரு பையரை திருப்பி உங்களோட வீட்டுக்கு வரீங்க, இதெல்லாம் நீங்கள் பார்த்தாக்கா what is the impression? No, what doesn't matter what. I said, I don't think so.
It actually matters, yeah.
So it's making them shift their perception and making them understand that the 2% com is actually a norm. There are also agents out there who increase it to 4% if the house is a challenging one. So this is when the clients are able to appreciate the value the agent is putting in to help them move that property.
You're a successful Indian female realtor.
I hope I am.
So கண்டிப்பாக வந்து இந்த ஸ்டேஜ்க்கு வரதுக்கு there's a lot of difficulty, a lot of challenges. So as an Indian female in this industry, what are the difficult moments and what are the challenges that you face? And is there anything that you can inspire other people similar to you that want to join this industry?
Yeah, honestly, in the கேள்வி எல்லாரும் கேட்டாலே it's very close to my heart because only when you go through it you know, right? Starting in this industry as a single and then continuing to be in the industry as a newlywed, a parent, and then a parent of a special needs, and then to see your children growing, having the challenge of juggling your hours at home because we can't leave it all to the domestic helper, அவங்க ஓடி போயிடுவாங்க, and then not being able to be there for your family during weekends, public holidays, to make them understand that your hours are just erratic, right? இதெல்லாம் தாண்டி to be able to come and sit down with you all, honestly I would say I have to be very very thankful. Now as ஒரு பெண்ணா இருந்துக்கிட்டு இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்னா, people will judge. What were the struggles I had was the late hours. Because initially, you got to be out late to meet your clients. So how late will it be? Weekdays, your viewing start after 7, right?
ஆமா.
So நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், I'll be like dinner எல்லாம் settle பண்ணிட்டு my viewings will start like 7:30, 7:45, 8, or if not after I therapy முடிஞ்சிக்கிட்டு I will immediately rush my son back home, put him back home, run back to the car and continue for my viewing. So it was like different caps. And நானே கேட்பேன் இது தேவையானு. You know, it's so tiring, right? And then you go for the appointment. It's not just conducting the viewing, but if there's a closing, then your 9 o'clock stretches to 11 to even 12 because you're making the sellers understand as to why they should take that offer. And if they don't take the offer, they'll lose it. All that, right? And you still need to be awake, alert. And then next morning, you're going to be up for the kids. So it's this crunch situations is the true litmus test for ladies to realize that they can't do it. Again, I would say my why is my son. And I also felt the flexibility was a huge advantage. So yes, there are a lot of ladies who come forward, but they leave. So this is where I want to share. It's like, don't give up because of course the first 3 years is hard work. Now it's even harder because you need to have that marketing knowledge. You need to know how to market yourself. And I've got to thank my media background for this because everything I look at, I always look at it from the marketing perspective. And I am a person who's got extremely high expectations on how it was based on my work experience, right? So for me, it's second nature. For some people, they're not able to see it. So this is when it's okay to ask rather than being shy or thinking that, oh, அவங்க என்னை வந்து ஒரு குறைச்சி பார்ப்பாங்களே, you know, or ஐயோ இந்த லைனில் இருக்கோமே, what would people think of me because the income is not consistent. Or நம்ம வந்து மற்றவங்க டிமாண்ட்ஸை நோக்கி தான் நம்மளோட சேலரி வருது. Don't put yourself down. This is when, again, it took me time to realize that you are not at the client's mercy. You are there to value add to your client. So some people even feel scared to even utter the 2%. They'll be like, I'm okay with 1%. And I'll be like, it's not about 1 or 2. It's about proving to your client and giving the client the confidence that you're more than even that 2%. Because if you don't believe in that percentage that you can bring in, how are you even going to secure that best price for the client? And you must also make the client feel that it's not about the commission that they're paying. They are paying to get the job done and you jolly well deserve it. So you need to instill that confidence and that must come with that why. With that why, because we're not here to work for free and I'm not here to work on an open basis. So as a lady, of course, you have your challenges because you meet male clients. And male clients will obviously be very creative with the way they want to meet you. ஒரு 1 hour meeting வந்து drag பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும், right? So initially it took me time to understand what was the objective of that meeting because initially you're so hungry and you just want to go to everyone that meets you because you want that opportunity. So that's when you learn to qualify your appointments, your clients who want to meet you. You pre-qualify them on the phone. You clearly even make them aware as to what's the purpose of meeting. Now, if you meet me, the objective of the meeting or the agenda of the meeting is established. So then your client actually knows what's the type of agent they are meeting. They don't determine the meeting, you stage the meeting. Yeah, so this is where you know how to play the game. And when that confidence is established and when that image is created, people know whether they want you or not. And naturally, you'll attract your right tribe. Of course, initially also it was a challenge for me. I was like, some people felt that I was too polished. Some people were thinking I'm not a HDB agent. They think I'm a private property agent. They'll think that I'm only selling District 9, 10, 11. And I'm like, இல்லையே நான் HDBயோ நான் விற்பேன். ஓ இல்லைம்மா நான் நினச்சேன் நீங்கள் வந்து ப்ரைவேட் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி தான் பண்ணீங்க. I say எப்போ அந்த நினைப்பு வந்துச்சு? இல்லைம்மா அவங்க பார்த்தாலே அப்படி I'm thinking.
அது ஒரு காம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் தானே.
It's a compliment, but you realize that why have that label or judgment? It's like I can be there to help you. It's not about being District 9, 10, 11 or private property. It's about engaging the agent to protect your interest because நீங்க யாரோ ஒரு ஏஜென்ட் எடுத்துட்டு அப்புறம் மாட்டிக்கிட்டு அப்புறம் என்கிட்ட வரும்போது ஏமா நீங்க முன்கூட்டியே என்கிட்ட சொல்லல. ஓ நான் நினைச்சேன் நீங்க இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி தான் விற்பீங்கன்னு, நான் நினைச்சேன் நீங்க ரெண்ட் எல்லாம் பண்ண மாட்டீங்கன்னு. I say இது என்னோட வேலை. Whether it's a rental or whether it's even a paperwork, objective is to meet your interests.
Right.
And of course it's a win-win thing, right? So that's where a woman has to make it very, very clear that your time is important. It's precious. You're not there to just meet and make a friend. You're there to help and make a difference. And when people know that, they will not waste your time. So I'm thankful now that I'm able to plan my appointments in a way that I'm still back home for my kids. Of course, I do ask myself, how is it if I'm able to be back home like by 9-10? And honestly, we're all in bed by 10:30, believe it or not. Whereas when I was younger, there's no way I could sleep at that time because I'll still be doing my paperwork, I'll still be meeting people, I'll still be answering. But now I'm like, it's okay, it's still doable. 10:30 I'm in bed, 5 o'clock I'm up. And before people are on their phones, I'm already messaging them and telling them what's the updates. So 8:30 they're in the office, I'm already in touch with them. 9 o'clock we're all chatting, then they get busy into their office, there's a little bit of a lull. Lunchtime I'm getting requests, whether you want to view, you don't want to view, you want to offer, whatever, right? If there's nothing, then what do? I go and train myself. So this is where a lady needs to know how to manage rather than get upset that, oh, in the maso deals illa. So this is where I also learn, if there are no deals, you take that time, you upskill yourself. You develop your own skill, which was during the pandemic. That was a true test for me because I'm not a tech person. I just couldn't sit and do a Zoom. But then I said, you got to do it. So managed to meet clients via Zoom. Of course, there were glitches. Of course, the camera couldn't be on. Right? All these things. I didn't know how to share a screen. I didn't know how to do a presentation. But I forced myself to learn it. And then I realized, hey, this is so useful because I can still be at home. And now my children are part of it. So they're like, okay, you're doing Zoom. All right. Oh, now you're doing an interview. Okay. Oh, mommy, you've got this interview. Can I be in it? So actually now my children are part of it. So
nice.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, as a woman, that soft part of you is able to tap on a lot of things which, I'm sorry, but not the other gender is able to do as
That's true,
well.
actually. That is very true.
Right?
Yeah, that's
And as a woman and as a mother, your experience, your clients are able to resonate with. Like I just last week, a mother with a special needs child called me. She had an agent serving her. Her unit's in the market since last September. And I do know the agent who's marketing the property. I clearly told her, I said, I feel you. And I know what you're going through. You make that decision. You know? And you move accordingly. Strangely, I met her last week and she said, my house is sold. Fantastic. You know, so that's what it is. It's not about how I look. And most importantly, you don't have to be pretty, slim to be successful in the job. If you are, it's a bonus. And I can tell you now, as of course the numbers are increasing, it's not easy to maintain the looks as constantly. It also takes a lot of investment, right? So this is where you have to keep in mind your objective. And of course, if you're disciplined enough to do your own personal workouts, you watch your nutrition, you watch your sleeping pattern, it all flows naturally. So Indian women need to keep that in mind. There is no perfect person to fit a perfect job. You have to make yourself fit into that job because only you know your why.
So what I can gather from in the conversation, Linda, like one thing that strikes me often is that when I look at you, I see that you're a person of balance. You balance your role as a mother, you balance your role as a realtor, and then above that, you find the time to invest in yourself. You find the time to invest in your nutrition, your sleep, your workouts, and it's. I think a lot of people can actually draw inspiration from this conversation because for me personally, right, is I actually am drawn towards people with a certain level of balance. Be it in like work, play, everything, spirituality also. So like I'm actually very inspired after hearing your story, being a father also, and like even for me, I'm trying to like seek a certain level of balance as well. So really, thank you for this conversation. It has given me a new sense of or a meaning கொடுத்திருக்கு actually. So yeah, thank you for coming to the studio today. Yeah.
I'm so glad and thankful for the opportunity, and I just hope that a lot of people have benefited from my sharing.
Yes, we do. Yes. So,
Before we end the topic, one key point that maybe someone, the generation like they would not know, one key advice or one point from a realtor perspective, what would you say?
My mantra, honestly, is கடமையை செய் பயனை எதிர்பார்க்காதே.
I don't expect.
So just
do
do
your work.
your duty and have no expectations, which is honestly difficult, but just keep doing your duty and it will happen.
Nice.
On that note,
Thank you for coming, Natalie.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being part of the show.
and nearly, if you all enjoyed the episode, do subscribe, like, share, and have fun.
Okay, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.